All right, it says this
Okay, I guess
Hangout
we
on
start
Air
with that.
Live. This is Alicia Stringer here, and I'm so excited to have our Superwomen panel here. We have Valerie, Keisha, and Greta with her adorable forest popping out on there. It feels all fresh and clean now. There he is. And we are excited.
And our special guest.
Yes, we're going to have a special
Go,
guest
go.
here soon, Kimberly. And so we're going to come on and introduce for everybody here on the panel before our guests to share a little bit of our focus here. My name's Alicia Stringer again, and I'm out here in the middle of Tennessee. And we came together to form this Millionaire Mindset Hangout to help people along the we needed to keep our mindset strong. We are all women of moms of different places and areas, so much going on in our lives, and we love to come to collectively for about a half an hour and focus on people that are striving to that millionaire mindset to help us focus and are aligned with vision that what we're doing. So we've got a couple of calls that we recommend below on our page, and some links of products that we recommend you plug into as we go through our our journey here together. So let me introduce you next on here that I have next to me is Valerie, and so share with you yourself, Valerie. I love masterminding with these women.
Okay, great, great. Thanks, Keisha. Alicia. At least we got Alicia and Keisha.
I know, right?
Thank you, thank you. Oh, crazy morning. So, anyways, I'm Valerie Jampolsky. For those of you who don't know me, I am a single mom with twins that are zipping in and out here. I'm a mom freedom coach. I used to be an entertainment attorney, and I do what I do now so that I can actually live life on my terms and with my kids. And one of the most powerful things that we've learned is that it's mindset. You can learn all the ninja tips and tricks and everything else, but it's the mindset that is the huge difference, that makes the huge difference to success, which is why we have these incredible, we bring on, we have our own topics, and then we also bring on guest speakers to talk about their experience and what was their most powerful mindset shift that led to their success. And again, yeah, as Keisha said, while we're waiting, click below. We have a Facebook group, Facebook page. Click like, because we have information in there. We'll have resources and stuff for you in there as well. And also, you'll see there's a little button below, big button below, actually right below this here. And that is something. Anytime you can click on that during our hangout and access information, and it's some of it's a handbook of details of exactly what we've been doing. And there's a big chunk of it that covers mindset as well. So you can access that down there as well when you click on that link below at any time. And I apologize if there's any streaking in the background here. Because little kids that just somehow like to strip naked when they get home. So I'm attempting to keep them out of the room, but I apologize in advance if you see little naked bums running across the screen in the back. I'm going to pass it over now. There's a pattern interrupt for you. From entertainment attorney.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
But hey, it works, and I get to live life on my own terms, so that's a cool thing. Also, anything that we say about income, since I am an attorney, there's a link below. We don't know what you're going to do. We have no idea what you're going to do. I can guarantee you, though, if you don't get your mindset on right, you don't take action, nothing is going to happen in your life. That I can guarantee you. But if you want to see average earnings, just click the link below. I'm going to pass it on over to Greta now.
Can you guys hear me? I'm like really fuzzy and unclear on my end here, but that's okay.
Maybe wipe the little image thing.
Sometimes it's like this, and that's okay. I have a little window of opportunity here to introduce myself. I am from Vancouver Island, BC, Canada, and I am gonna pass off baby Forrest here to his big brother Noah. Thank you so much, Noah. And that's how we roll here. I have 6 kids, and things and times can get so busy. It's been so exciting. I mean, we've just had such a busy day so far already today. So I'm just excited to get going and get Kimberly on here with us. And I know she's got some serious, awesome information that is going to allow you to break through and have your own breakthroughs for your life and your business. So, Keisha, I'm so happy that you made it here with us. We were worried about you and your back, so you're here. You're such a trooper.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought I was muted, so you heard my call going on. I didn't do that information. Can you guys hear me okay?
Good,
Sure,
good.
yes, absolutely.
Good. So I am here on the East Coast. As you see, we have women from around the world right here on this live webcast. And I just want to share that the purpose, main reason why we gathered here is to help others have the mindset shift, breakthroughs that they need so that they can start receiving the wealth that they deserve. And guys, you know, we were chatting on our inbox earlier, just talking about preparing for this hangout, excited about our guest that we have coming on, because she is also a powerhouse mom who really she'll share her story with you, so you want to stay tuned. But we all are mothers here, and I'm a single mother as well. I have 4 children, 2 grandbabies, and on a call I was listening to, I was working really late last night online, as a few of us here, and we were sharing, boy, you know, commending each other about our dedication to why we're doing this. And it's not just about us, it's about you. And, you know, I thought I was going to take a nap, but no, I had someone that shared that they'll be on this hangout. They reminded me to listen to the call from last night, calls that Alicia shared with you down below. We have every Monday night. I'm in another business, so I did not have the opportunity to listen live, but I listened to that replay of who we call the hippie Jedi, Justin Varengia, and Dee, his wife, and I want to let you know it's the most powerful call. So we don't have, I don't think we have the replay number down there, but I will put it in the box below because it's so powerful. It's what I call the formula to freedom. The formula to freedom. And as you know, freedom for you, freedom for different people, it means different things. We have financial freedom. We have, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom. We have different freedoms, but it really breaks down on how to help you become free in those various areas. And the first thing is to gain confidence. And how can you do that? With personal and self-development, which is why we are here sharing with you today, why we have that fabulous guest coming on in just a few minutes. So get connected, get some pen, get some paper, get your audio out, do what you need to do, and focus on what you're going to learn today, because it is going to be powerful. Powerful. What I just shared is powerful. So take that and use it, guys. Take that and use it. So I'm going to pass it back over to Alicia. I'm excited and I am ready to go.
All right. Hopefully she'll be on. In the meantime, I'm going to share that we just finished an awesome product launch that Kim was participating in, and I just finished watching some of it, and the reactions that you have with your conversations with people can be so powerful, and that's the kind of mindset that you have to have so strong in order to have powerful conversations with people, just like you'll hear on the stories that you'll hear inside the calls and inside this top producer formula live cast that we just got off last Saturday. Shared a lot of people's had formula for every hour, and then came out and shared some people's story. And she was one of the ones that came out and shared some of the stories inside of the live cast and the product. So I wanted to share a little bit of the insights that I got from that, and so you can help gain confidence in that. And just the information. And I think that's why we go through in the mindset, is because we want to keep gaining the knowledge and learning what can take us from where we are to our next journey. And the one big takeaway, I think there's a couple of them, but was inside of the small commitments that you make. And I think that's just with how you interact with more people. You know, when you are talking to a person, you know, you're wondering, when is the next time I will see them? I had a person randomly text me one day. I didn't know who it was, but they started texting me over and over because we started making like that next commitment. We knew who we were, started to get to know each other, and that's where you can start making that small commitments and just get to know people to get them into your business. So the small business just makes sense to get into how they're going to invest in their dream, and that's just the biggest takeaway I got from them on what they shared inside the live cast. Some of the results she shared was like she got so many numbers of this low-end product that was like 237, and she could see from that low-end product more of the people that made more commitments into their dream of the reaction. So you can see that's how people start making those small commitments to the big commitments. And the biggest shift I think inside that I want to focus on for the millionaire mindset is inside the top producer on the beliefs and attitudes. There's a whole module of module 2 specifically that we talked about last week on our Hangout that will share the value of the getting onto an elite mastermind, people that you want to align with together to make sure you're going in the right direction. Because I've just been on like a accountability partner, and that's just not like the same. You got to find people to mastermind with. So I've been powerful learning all these strategies here with everybody. So if any of you guys had anything else that y'all want to take out from, you know, like the last live cast, from, you know, her reaction on what was like a biggest takeaway of, you know, that we want to get out of to get to help people march for that millionaire mindset from just some of the knowledge and learning that we've taken from the products that we recommend below.
Well, I would love to. There was a piece, and it's actually there's the link below, like the link that's like right below this video, right now when you're watching this. There's a link that's going to take you to a handbook, which is kind of like if you want the Coles Note version of what happened, of this massive thing that happened all day. The Coles Note version of it is right there, and there's a huge, powerful piece in there about vision. And there's an exercise as well that you can go through. I want to take a piece of what I learned as well, and it's a really powerful piece, and it's something that was an issue with me in the past in business, and it's, you know, I'm an entertainment attorney, and I come from like wanting to know all the details and wanting to know everything. But the reality is the most important thing is you have to have your vision, and you have to have your clarity in your vision, and we take you through processes to help you to do that, to actually make that happen. And that's actually part of that is when you click that button below and you access that, that's what's there for you. And a big piece of it from that, though, is once you've got that, is to open yourself up to what's coming to you. Open yourself up to opportunities. Because when you're in the right space and you have your vision in place, then a big piece of the mindset is actually taking action and understanding that no matter what you do, you're always going to get better at it. So you're never going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect because we're all growing beings, and we can always be better at it. So why not just take action now? Because the best way to really grow, and what the top producers do, and what I have learned for myself and my success in my business, is once you have that and you have your perspective, take the action on what comes up, because you'll be open yourself up to opportunities. You open yourself up to things like all of a sudden there's a resource, all of a sudden there's an idea to take an action, to just take that action based on what you've learned, and be able to, if you make a mistake, to go, okay, and this is key, what can I learn? What can I adjust from this? Because there will always be adjustments. There will always be adjustments. You're never going to be perfect, ever, ever, ever. You're going to look back at your stuff a year from now and go, wow, I can't believe how much I've grown since then, how much better it is now, right? So whatever you're watching and all this stuff and everything, take notes, but take action. Teach what you've learned. Like I learned this piece right now, as an example. I learned this piece. And I was doing it, but to make it really clarified, to say, okay, you've got your clear vision, you've got your way, you've built it, you've got this, the correct vibration, the correct emotional space inside of you. Part of that is taking action. It's not just sitting there with your vision. it's opening yourself up and allowing yourself to see what's in front of you, to actually move with it. But if you have all the ninja steps and you have all the training, but you don't have your mindset in place, that's it doesn't, you don't get nearly the same results. You don't get nearly the same results. But somebody with a powerful mindset that may not even have all the skills in place, but just takes action and is open to learning and growing in the process, is going to do way better than someone that doesn't take the action, no matter how much they have. So it's a combination of things. Get the information and don't make sure that it is something that you make sure that you take action on it. How many times have I said that? Take action.
Valerie, can I piggyback off of what you said?
Please.
You can do it, and it's okay. You have a license to make mistakes. How about that? You have a license to make mistakes. It's actually part of the best. I mean, I remember listening to, who was it? Was it Tony? Tony Rush, it might have been, saying that you post an ad, right? And it's like a complete, you think it's the most brilliant thing in the world, and it's a complete flop, okay? Multi-millionaires having ads that flop all the time, having emails that don't respond, having videos, having whatever it is that you do in your business, that it doesn't work. But you know what? It will work if you learn from it and go, what can I adjust? And the moment you do that, you actually open yourself up. And if you're in the right mindset because you've got your vision in place, you'll all of a sudden allow yourself to pull in the answers that are already there in the universe for you to access. I'm going to get esoteric on you, but it's there. Then take action. I'm in a goofy mood. What can I say? Okay, passing it on. And also, hey, there's going to be right after this, well, not right after this, but at noon, you'll see the number below. There is a Superwoman Hangout, a Superwoman teleseminar call. Okay. And there's going to be a very powerful exercise that will help you in the process of this. So make sure that you tap into that, because it's a powerful piece to the puzzle. We got the pieces to the puzzle, we put them all together, and then what do? Take action. Okay. Who wants to pop out now?
Does Greta have a moment? Because I don't see Keisha. She dropped off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I see her in land, but maybe her internet was kind of fuzzy, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Keisha had something to say. She was ready to jump out and, I don't know, shout something like "take action," something like that. Yeah, there was something that I really, you had just said, Valerie, that I really resonated with, and I had that thought in my mind, and then it just poof disappeared on me with my mommy brain. I was, up last night, just totally immersed in all of this. I mean, in exactly what you were just talking about, and going through some steps and gaining more and more clarity and defining things more, and really stepping into the feelings and the thought process. It was just amazing. It's amazing what you're able to, where your imagination can really take you with your vision when you allow yourself that time, when you create that time for yourself to really sit with yourself and take that peaceful, calm moment for yourself when the kids are sleeping. If you're a busy mom like me and all of us here, it usually happens when the kids are sleeping. Sometimes you can do it in the day when the kids are napping. For me, not so much, because I got 6 of them, so when one's sleeping, the other ones are up, and so on. So, yeah, I just, it's, I mean, last night, I literally just took myself through this incredible process with Dave Wood from the I forget what module it's in the top producer formula, and it was just amazing what just came through me, and came, before I did it, I was like, oh, I'm tired, maybe I won't be able to really tap into what my vision truly, where I really want to take this. It wasn't necessarily, it was very specific. He took us through a very specific exercise, 3 specific questions, very powerful questions that you may have done, or you may have not done before. And it's something that we all need to do. These questions are very powerful questions that we need to ask ourselves. If you're in business for yourself, or you're thinking about getting into business for yourself, this exercise is very important for you to be able to move forward and take this inspired action that we need to take, that Valerie said so perfectly. Just, take action. It's got to be, and that's where I was. I just had it. The thought just came back in my mind as well of where I was going before with what I really resonated with. And it was, before I got started in doing this myself, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know, didn't know anything about technical stuff. It was just like, oh my gosh, the scariest thing in the world. I barely, made it through my first year of high school, never mind, going to college and university and all these things that most people do. School was just not my thing. It just wasn't. And so I had to break through all those barriers that I had that were holding me back, and just those internal false beliefs that we carry around with ourselves, those self-limiting beliefs, those beliefs that hold us back from taking that action that we need to take towards our goals. So when I got started, I had to break through that and just basically put all that away. Just push it aside and say, enough is enough. I'm done telling myself that I can't do things. Now, all I'm going to say is I can. Because if I can do this, then I can help others do this. And that essentially, beneath all of this, is why I'm here and why we're here, and probably why you're here and why you feel you're here. You just know we're here to make a difference and to help others and to create freedom for people in their lives. So yes, it's taking that action before you know how to do any of it, really. You have to take action no matter what. If you just close your eyes, tap into that power, release all those self-limiting beliefs, those words, those mean girls or boys or whoever, man, woman, whichever you are watching and listening. You have to let go and allow the abundance, the love, the peace, the talents, the gifts, everything that you have to just freely flow through you. And in doing that, you really, truly, you have to let go. That was one of the most powerful things that I've learned through this whole process, and learned through other different traumatic moments and experiences that I've had in my life. It's just, there's been all these experiences that I've had in my life that I've had to learn to forgive, let go, in order to allow the energy to freely flow through my being. And as I'm talking about this and sharing with you, I'm reminded again of, if you're a mother, if you're a dad, whoever you may be, you know how important it is for your children to continue to have this openness, and because they have it. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, to see our children, to see your children really truly be able to just have that energy freely flowing through them. And really the only things that sometimes cause them to have these barriers are all the adults that are walking around in their lives that have have been carrying, you know, who have gotten these barriers throughout their lives, that maybe, you know, they say things to kids when they're dreaming and thinking, oh, I want to be my kids say to me all the time, I want to be a superhero. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. You can do that. You know, like, just keep that dreaming and those visuals and that imagination free flowing for them. And that's the only thing that really stops them sometimes, is, you know, those self-limiting beliefs of others. But then they just go right back, you know, they just go right back, and they just continue to play and dream and take action. Who are our best teachers? Our children. Our children. From the very beginning, they don't know how to walk, they don't know how to talk, but they try, gaga, goo goo, whatever, ga da da. You know, they're still talking, they're walking, they're taking these steps. If you're searching for inspiration, you're lost, you're just take a moment to stop and look at your child. You know, really look at the picture that they created, or that sandcastle that they just built, or, you know, that Lego creation that they just created, whatever it is, and just see that, you know, they're taking action.
And their inspiration is all of the books that we give them, all the movies that we show them, and the different things that we want to aid in their, you know, their dreaming aspects for it as well. So we always give, you know, tons of information. That's why we learn, right? What our inspiration is. You're so right, Greta. We're curious on what was one of the questions inside. You don't have to tell us all three.
Yeah. One of the questions?
Yeah.
Well, basically, let's see, which question should I give away here?
Keisha's back.
Which one? Are you looking at the belief one, or are you looking at the vision one?
I'm looking at the vision one.
Well, she's looking for the question. Keisha can come out since she just got chopped back on.
Yeah. Yeah, just you know, we were talking about in terms of the belief of not being able to take action. That's in the belief module. There's a 14-step process to go through to actually take any belief. And he actually takes you live through that belief, like how to actually transform that specific belief, because it's a doozy for people. It's a big one. You know, a lot of people do. They get information, and because of their mindset, because of their beliefs, they don't take action. They don't take action now. They don't decide to take action now, and they don't trust all the wonderful stuff that comes up from within. You know,
and sometimes you don't know what is stopping them within.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, see, that's it. That's the process. That's what's so powerful about it, is a lot of people don't know, and he takes you through how to take yourself through these. He does it live if you allow yourself to go through it in the module, but then also each one actually has it laid out, and you can actually go piece by piece through that, and then there's levels of it. There's the vision itself, and then it's breaking it down into different beliefs in different areas of your life. It's very powerful stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Ladies, I'm back. Can I pop in 1 second?
Absolutely.
This shoddy internet, I tell you. But what I did do is I cut it on my desktop so I could still follow along with you ladies until this thing popped back up. Cool. Greta, you mentioned something, but first I want to touch on something Valerie said earlier about the content that we're talking about, the top producer formula, the launch that Alicia's mentioned, that is so powerful. And also what I've just been seeing from various leaders that I've been viewing and been in contact with within the last couple days. And the same thing is what Valerie was saying. Do, right? You learn, you do, and you teach. We all know this. Us internet marketers, network marketers, anyone who is familiar with personal development, you know that you have to learn it, but the value comes when you teach it, because it's reinforced in you, and then you get better at it as you're doing it, and then you can teach to others. And what I heard Lawrence Tam say, what I heard our hippie Jedi say is that when you can give value to someone, when you can teach them and share with them all that you've learned, that is when it really matters, when you give the value. Because that's why we're all here. We want to share with people. We want to share with you what we have come into contact with. Because it took people, I think Justin said, since 2007, he's been on this struggle or before, and in another industry. But why? We don't want you to go through all of that. I don't want to go through all of that. So when you connect people, you have what it is that can help you jump over those hoops so that you don't have to do all of that, to help you connect with yourself more sooner than it took maybe me 44 years.
Keisha, I don't know if you can tell. Okay, that's great. I don't know if you can tell from where you're at, but Kimberly just hopped on.
Yes, I did see that. And we're so glad you're here, Kimberly. So, guys, our special guest is on. Our special guest is on, so I'm going to turn it back over so we can have Kimberly jump on and share some valuable nuggets.
Yeah, that's so Kimberly, hooray, you made it.
Hey, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, everything went wrong all at once.
That's okay. We overcome our stuff. And I just want to, before you just quickly, briefly introduce you, and because the way you can tell your story yourself. But Kimberly, for those of you that don't know, her and her partner Paul together, that they are, and she's an incredible powerhouse woman, have actually reached the top of the leaderboards in what it is that we do. She's a very, very successful 6-figure income earner, and it wasn't too long ago that she was struggling. So she's got there was a powerful shift that happened. And that's one of the reasons we were so excited and wanted to have you come out here, was because, a lot of people, we start a business and maybe you may start from somewhere and feel like because you're grinding and it's not working that's it, but you didn't give up and you have a shift. And I wanted to, and now everything is completely different, so I looked at to share what's happened with you, but also, most importantly, what was that shift? What was that incredible, powerful mindset shift that you had that has taken you from struggling to being top of the leaderboards and 6-figure incomes, and really, really powerful change in how you got there. And I'm thrilled that you were able to fix whatever came, the stuff that came up, because I know you're having all kinds of stuff happening simultaneously to make it on the Hangout with us here. And she's moving.
Oh, yeah, I had my laptop started dying, and then my charger. Everything's against me. I'm not going to let it take me down. No, thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you for having me on. Like she said, my name is Kimberly Denisse, and I've actually been in the industry in network marketing in general for going on 9 years now. I discovered it when I was 18. I was just working a job. And I've actually been working since I was 16. I got a job right away. I dropped out of high school. I started doing homeschool classes so that I can help my mom pay the bills. She was a single mother, and I was raised, struggling, poverty, and all that kind of stuff. And so as soon as I turned 16, got a job and have been working ever since. But somebody prospected me. I discovered marketing when I was 18, and I have all kinds of stories of what companies I was with and what happened and all that kind of stuff. I'll kind of fast forward through that. Never really made anything happen with any of those companies for a number of different reasons. Number one, as we're all very familiar with, a lot of companies, they don't teach you what you need to know as far as marketing goes, as far as prospecting and just building a foundation and building a business, building an organization. They don't really teach you that. They just say you go out and talk to every person who's breathing, right? So, that's kind of what I kind of went through that. I would join a company, I would make my list, and then go to all those people, and I just repeated the cycle over and over again. Eventually, as you can imagine, people got tired or sick, or, oh, gosh, she's in another one of those things, and it's what my problem was, what do I do after that? Where do I go after, I already talked to all my friends and my coworkers and people like that. I was extremely introverted, so I was not the type who can just go, let me just go to the mall and talk to everyone that passes by, or let me go to Walmart and, start up conversations with people. That was impossible for me at the time, or so it seemed. So over the years, I've been able to personally develop, and up into last year in August, actually retired from corporate America I had been a personal banker for U.S. Bank for about 3 years, almost 3 years. And I purposely put myself in that position because I knew that, and I applied for that particular job because it was a sales position. I knew that if I got myself into a position to where I had to learn how to sell, I had to learn how to talk to people, I had to learn how to be comfortable in that kind of an environment, then I knew that, I knew that I wanted to be that person. I think that we all have a picture inside of us of who we want to be, our most confident self, our highest self, if you will. And we all know, like, who we want to be. Maybe we see people that are speaking up on a stage and we think, oh, I want that to be me one day. We can picture it inside of us, but for some reason, it's hard to pull it out. It's hard to extract that out of ourselves. But over time, it can be done. So that's kind of what I've done is over the years, I've done a lot of personal development, of reading, and going to events and different stuff like that. So, and then the job helped tremendously. It helped me learn how to sell. So I said, I'm gonna get back into the game. I'm gonna jump into another company, and the company came across my desk. I jumped in, and even though I was able to sell a little bit of product and stuff like that, I was still not able to recruit anyone. And over the past, it was 8 years then, or 7 years, or whatever it was a very long time, and many companies that I went through where I was not able to bring anyone in at all. And, at first I was ashamed to share that with people, but now I'm like, there's a lot of people out there like that. There's a lot of people that join companies over the years, and are just that person that go to the meetings and they show up every time. Maybe you're getting on every call, you're going to all the events, but still you're not getting any kind of results. That was me. That was exactly what was happening for me. So fast forward to where I found Empower Network, which I actually found Empower back in July of 2012, and I just started blogging, and I started listening to the Inner Circle, because I found a mentor online, and she told me if I wanted to succeed in my network marketing business, to start blogging with Empower. So I was like, okay, I can do that. So it was pretty interesting, because at the time, I didn't have a computer, I didn't have the internet, we didn't even have hot water where I lived, because things were just so crazy and bad, and we actually lived in this rural town. I'm from Victorville, California. It's the desert, the high desert of California, and we lived in this rural area where you don't have I don't even know, like natural gas to get your hot water, your fire, for your heat and your cooking and all that kind of stuff. We had propane tanks, and it was like $600 to fill that thing up. And there came a point in time where I was actually the only one working in the home. And this is pre-Paul and I getting together. Sometimes people get confused. They're like, oh, they're thinking that Paul and I have been together for that long. But no, we started dating a year ago. So this is meeting him. And anyhow, so I was the only one bringing in income, so things were really, really tough. And, we didn't have hot water. I was having to, things were crazy back then. I would get up. This was my schedule on a particular day. I would get up in the morning, and I would throw some, I don't even know if I got dressed. I probably rolled over in my pajamas, but I would drive over to my mother-in-law's house, and I was so excited about this blog thing. I thought, if I can just blog, I'll blog as much as I can. Like, if I'm going to earn commissions, I will do whatever it takes. So I drove over to my mother-in-law's house every morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would drive over there to get a blog done, and then I would come back, and then I would get ready. I'd get my daughter ready for school, and then I would start my day and all that kind of stuff. Well, not only did that get tiring, but it got really tiring to not even seeing my kids, barely an hour or two a day, because I would see them in the morning, getting them ready and doing all that stuff. And then I'd go to work. By the time I got back, it was like, well, maybe they would still be up, maybe they wouldn't. Sometimes I'd be able to put them to bed, but I always missed dinner, on days that I had to work. And I just got really sick and tired of that whole rat race type, being on a hamster wheel, that type of a cycle. But, but as you can see, and as you might know or you might not know, I didn't really start getting any results, me personally, until August of last year, right, that same month that I quit my job. I think a lot of it had to do with time and time management. When you have kids, at that time I had 3, I still have 3, but at that time they were all under 5, and a baby/toddler. It's just a lot, when you're maybe your mother, maybe you have children, maybe you have trouble finding the time or just managing your time, trying to get the right things done with the time that you have. So that's where I was at, struggling to not only work this full-time job, not only, take care of a household and kids, but then figure this whole business out too. So I had that issue, I had the time issue, then I had the financial issue where I'm like, well, I can't afford to buy all the products, and for the first 6 months, 7 months I was in Empower, I skipped the first 2 opportunities to go to an event. The first one that I skipped was San Diego, which was 2 hours away from where I lived. The reason why I allowed that to happen, and now I look back and I realize now through my personal growth, I allowed that to happen was because, you know, my husband at the time, I've recently gone through a separation and a divorce too, a year ago. But my husband at the time, he was totally against network marketing, like completely, and made sure that I knew about that on a daily basis. You know, like, why are you doing this? You're not the type of person for this. You can't, you know, you can't do this. This isn't for someone like you, and all of that. That's what I heard every single day. And so that was hard too. And then the finances, it's like, well, I even had to hide the fact that I was paying my basic and my inner circle memberships. Like, I had to kind of like do it on the down low, because if he found out that I was spending that money, he's like, oh, why are you spending money on this? You're not even making money. You know, I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard that. Like, oh, you're gonna invest in something that you haven't even made money in yet, or oh, you're gonna buy products from a company that hasn't even paid you a commission yet, and then it gets your mind all messed up. But so I had all of those angles hitting at me: the time, the finances, and the person in my life that was just, you know, in my ear all the time against it. And so all of that was holding me back. And I mean, my first big breakthrough was when it was shortly after the Austin event. Austin was in January of last year, 2013, and everyone went to that event. I saw everyone having a great time. You know, on Facebook, everybody posts the videos and the pictures and all that stuff. And everyone came back, and what happened for me was I saw my particular personal sponsor back then. I saw him come back from that event, and something changed in him. I could just tell that something was different. And over the course of the next, you know, 30, 60, 90 days, he took his income from like something like $2,500 to $12,000. He had a big breakthrough. And that was a point, that was my first turning point for myself, where I said, that's it, like, I cannot miss events anymore. Like, this really is what I want to do. And I kind of had a self-check moment with myself. I said, all right, is this really what I want to do? Am I going to, you know, make this happen no matter what with Empower Network, or am I just going to, you know, sit back and ride the ranks in my job? You know, I could have become, very easily become a branch manager. They wanted me. They kept putting me through all these programs and telling me, you know, go through all this stuff because we want to make you a manager, and I could have done that. And I could have been, you know, comfortable, but still kind of trapped in that little thing. I don't know if maybe some of you relate. Maybe you have a job that you like to do. Maybe the job's fine. Like Lawrence Tam, he says all the time that, you know, he had a cush job. Why quit it? You know, but you know, maybe you're in that situation where you're comfortable but uncomfortable in that situation. Like you're not uncomfortable enough to really make that decision, really make that change. But I decided that day, no, I'm really going to make the decision that this is what I want to do. So I sat back. I said, okay, what am I doing differently from the leaders? And right away, and if you're writing any notes or anything like that, you can write this down, is that, you know, success in this business, like in anything else, it's just like, I compared it to, and always compare it to, like a recipe, for example, for a cake. Like if you're making a chocolate cake and you have this box, it's like, okay, the box, flip it over, on the back it says, get 3 eggs, get a third a cup of oil, get a quarter cup of water, and only mix that together and only put it in the oven for, you know, 375 degrees for 30 minutes. Like, okay, if you follow that exactly, you're going to probably get a chocolate cake. But if you take the box and you're like, I only have 2 eggs, so I'm not even going to go to the store and buy more eggs. I'm just going to use the 2, and we don't have oil, so I'm just going to use more water, and I'm impatient, right? I'm just going to put it in the oven for only 20 minutes. You're probably not going to get, you might get something close to a chocolate cake, but it's probably not going to come out right. It's going to be sloppy, it's going to be watery, or who knows. I've never made a cake like that, so I don't know how it would come out. But the point of it is if you don't follow the steps, and if you don't follow the recipe exactly, you're not going to get what's on the front of the box, right? A chocolate cake. So here in Empower Network, it's like, well, if you're not going to the events, you're not investing in yourself up front, you know, doing whatever it takes to get your education, get your products, get yourself positioned to make the money too. So get your education and be positioned. If you're not following the recipe for success, and what is the recipe? How did I figure out what the recipe was? I looked around. I'm like, all right, who has what I want? I was like, well, my sponsor has what I want. Tracy Walker has what I want. Lawrence Tam has what I want. I named off all these leaders. I was like, all right, they all have what I want. So, all right, cool, check. What are they doing that I'm not doing? Okay, well, they're probably putting more time in. Okay, they're all in. Okay, that's one. I have to take care of that. They're all in. I wasn't all in. I didn't get all in until July of last year. I went a long time not being all in. I was only at the inner circle level for quite a while. I made a sacrifice and found a way to get to Costa Rica. That was last year it was after my first event. I don't even know, maybe like May or June. But until then, until July of last year, I was not all in, so I didn't have all the products, hence why I was probably struggling and probably had a lot of information that I was missing. So you have to look at it that way. You have to know that none of these people, and trust me, I've had the privilege, and I feel so grateful to be in the position that I am in now, to be able to spend one-on-one time with these people. I've spent one-on-one time with Justin DiBerengia. I've been able to spend one-on-one time with Tracy Walker and Dave Wood even, and all these people that I looked up to, and I thought they were like aliens. They must be from another planet. They must have some kind of secret thing that they do, or something like that. Like, I saw them so apart from myself, and I think too often we do that. We separate ourselves from people who have great results and who are successful and who have all this life that we want. We think that there's something different. The only thing that is different, and I promise that's all that it is, the only thing that's different is just the time that they put in and the amount of action and the amount of effort that they put in. And daily consistent action, daily consistent effort. So, I wrote down, I'm like, all right, I got to get all in. Another thing was, I've been skipping these events. I probably should start going to these events, since every single leader that has what I want goes to every event, never misses one. Should probably start going to the events. So I'm like, all right, I got to do it. I'm going to Chicago. So as soon as I made that decision, and here's another tip too, decisions are free. And I tell my team this, decisions are free. You can make the decision to go to Orlando right now today on this Hangout. You can make the decision to go all in your business right now. You don't need any money right now just to say, I'm going to do it. Something weird happens when you just say, I'm going to do that, and you really decide, like, in your own heart and in your own mind, when you decide to do something, and really decide. Don't just dip your toe in the water. Don't just hope that it works out or try this thing out. No, just decide that you're going to make it work. If it worked for me, it worked for you. If it worked for Paul, it could work for you. If it works for Alicia or anyone else on here, or anyone that we see that it's working for, it can work for you too. So make the decision, right? So I said, I don't have the money. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the time off. I don't know if, there's all these I don't knows, but I said, I'm still going. So what did I do? I just started to move forward and move confidently forward. One of my favorite quotes is from Henry David Thoreau, and he says, advance confidently in the direction of your dreams, and you will meet with success unexpected in common hours. And I loved that, because it doesn't tell you to move forward with every step. It doesn't say move forward and make sure you know exactly how you're going to get there. It just says move forward confidently. So that's what I did. I told everyone, I posted on Facebook, I'm like, I'm going to Chicago. I changed my cover photo. I changed the background on my cell phone. I told everyone that I worked with, I'm like, hey, I need this time off. I'm going to Chicago. And the only person I didn't tell right away was my spouse at the time, because I had to come up with some kind of clever way for him to not talk me out of going, or say, no, you can't do that, or you can't spend the money and stuff like that. For those of you who are in Charlotte, I spoke on stage, and I was so excited to tell you guys how I was able to go, because at that time that I was putting the little plan together behind the scenes, I was like, man, this is crazy that I have to do this. I was like, but you know what? I'm going to tell a bunch of people one day. I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to tell people what I had to do to get to my first event, so there's no excuses. And I tell my team all the time, I went through hell to get all in and to get to my first event and all this stuff. Like, there's no excuses not to do it. You just have to decide, and the way will come. So, I ended up going into a lot of debt to get to my first event. I drove around. I went to this was my only option. I don't suggest this at all. But when you have to do whatever it takes, that might be different. Whatever it takes might be different for you than it was for me. My version of whatever it took was, I didn't have credit, so I couldn't go get a credit card, couldn't get a loan. I don't have a huge family or resources where I could just go to, Aunt this or whoever and ask for money. So my only option at the time, I was like, I could probably go get some payday loans. I'm like, all right, how much is this going to cost me? Long story short, it probably sounds irresponsible, especially as a mother, as a parent, stuff like that, but I believed in myself and in the company so much, and that I would get what I needed from that event, that I had to do it. That's how I felt. I was so convicted that if I just got there, that it would change me, I would come back, and that things would be different. So I got 3 different payday loans, and added all the money together, and I booked my tickets. I got my event ticket, and I was fortunate enough to find somebody. I think it was in a Facebook group that we split we flew together because she was from LA, and we shared a hotel, and we like shared everything the whole time, and it was really weird how things all worked out like that. Because there was another excuse that I had was, well, I've never really flown anywhere. I'm scared. I don't want to go alone, and I was just having all those voices in my head telling me all this. So hold on just a second. I gotta close out Facebook because people are messaging me. It's distracting. Okay, so I got to Chicago, came back, was completely changed. Completely transformed. I went from wondering and hoping that I could make this happen to knowing that I could do it, that I was just like those people that were on the stage, just like the people that I met. I was able to meet them in person. I was able to see if this was real, because a lot of times you're like, oh, it seems too good to be true. You can do it from home. You can do it from online. And so, came back from Chicago and was completely changed. And I made a pact to myself and to my family that I would never miss an event again, that I wanted the results that those leaders had, and that I would be on the stage, and that I would make it happen, so I would never miss an event again. And like I talked about in Charlotte, I haven't. I had all my lanyards on, and I've been to like 6 or 8 events, or however many have been since Chicago. I've been to all of them because I made that pact, and because I did that, and just trusted that if I just go to all the events and stay plugged in, get on all the calls, the hangouts, if I find a way to get all in. So here's the short story of how, the short version of the story of how I got all in. I went to Denver. I went to the event in Denver, and at this point, I had maybe a handful of teammates, maybe like 3 or 4 that were actually like blogging and attempting to build a business with me. And I went to Denver, and on the last day after the all-in hangout or the all-in meeting and whatnot, long story short, I met Paul very briefly. Like, we exchanged information and went home. And then we started talking on Facebook, and he was asking me, like, how's your business going, and what have we been able to do, what are you struggling with, and stuff like that. And, I told him I only have a few teammates. I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. I know I don't have a lot of time, and I'm not all in, so that's probably holding me back. And literally within 3 days of talking with him, and him just helping me see my business and my situation in a different way, in a different light. And to really be honest with you, all he did for me was help me to stop making excuses and stop feeling sorry for myself and stop telling myself this story that, oh, woe is me, I can't afford to get all in. And that's all I was doing. I was just telling myself I couldn't afford it, and I couldn't, oh, I don't have a lot of teammates, so I don't have a lot of time, and oh, for me, because I have 3 kids, and I don't have the time to put in like other people do. And I was just having all this garbage in my head, and he helped me to clear that out and really see the picture for what it was. And the picture was, no, if you want to make this happen, you have to get all in as soon as possible and find whatever way to do it. Number 2, you have to quit your job. And he told me that. He's like, all right, if you want to succeed, you need to go part-time or quit your job. I'm like, I can't do it right away. I can't do that. I have kids. I was, earlier in that year, I had already went through my separation. I was already considered, a single mom, because I was on my own and with them. And I'm like, how in the world? And, at first when you're faced with stuff like that, you just start panicking, and you think, like, oh, my God, like, how could I even do that? But I sat there, took a step back really quick. I'm like, hold on. Here's a person who's already had 5-figure months in their business. They're already making it happen. This person in front of me has what I want, right? That's what I kept asking myself the months previous, right? If someone has what I want, I need to do what they do, or at least do what they say to do, right? He had the results that I wanted. He was not, contributing from my success at all. He wasn't getting any pass-ups or any. So I'm like, this person's telling me these things. It must be because that's what I really need to do. So I made the decision, another decision right then. I said, I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do, exactly to the T, because I believe and I trust that I'll get the results that I want. So I'm like, all right, he's telling me I have to quit my job. He's telling me I have to go all in. So I had to find a way to go all in. When I say, or when I emphasize make a decision and how important that is because before you really do make a decision, and this is what it did for me, was before I made the decision to really get all in, that day, like after talking to him, like previously I might have thought I made the decision, like, oh yeah, I'm going to, but who knows when, because I don't have any money, or I don't have the money. I kept making excuses for myself in my head of why I couldn't do it. So if you aren't making a definite decision about something, you're not turning on your creative faculties or the part of your brain that actually comes up with a solution if you're just telling yourself all the time, I can't because, or you need to start, like, Chris Record says all the time, he's the first person I ever heard say, but how can I, right? How can I do this? How can I do that? So I started saying, okay, how could I get all in? If my life depended on it, how could I get all in? I even said, like, if my kids were taken from me, like, and I had to get all in to get them back, how could I do it? And you know, there was one thing that was left, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. And there was a person that I knew in my life that, you know, had probably some capital that they might be willing to loan to me, but I did not want to ask them. I really just, you know, it might have been pride, it might have been this or that, but call it whatever. That was like my only option. And I realized that, you know, I just need that. If that's the only option, I have to at least go for it, at least ask, at least see, you know. So what did I do? I sold my vision to this person. I said, you know what, this is what I'm trying to do for my family. This is you know, I actually have someone who's helping me, who has results already. They're going to work with me closely and help me get these results. You know, will you loan me the money? Long story short, they loaned me the money. I got all in, and no sooner did I do that, like a couple of days within going all in, my one teammate that was like, you know, my little sidekick buddy, you know, he got all in, and then one of his teammates got all in. And had I not made that decision to do that, you know, they wouldn't have taken the steps to make the decision in their own lives. But long story short, I know I've said that a lot. I don't know why I did, because it is a long story short, and I'm trying to sum it up. I don't want to hold. I know you guys have already been on this hangout for a while, but within the next 30-day period, I had like a $5,000 month, all because of just choosing to make those decisions. And right away, I got all in. I put in my notice. I said,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just gonna. I want to hear the story. I just want to let you know what's happening. Greta and I have to hop off because we're actually on a call, hosting on a call. So we're going to leave with Alicia and Keisha to continue, and I'm so excited you were here because this is a very powerful part of the story. And as soon as you guys hop off of this, we're going to hop onto the call in a second. So very, very, very powerful. I'm sorry. I just want to know why I'm closing out here. I'm here in the background.
Okay, no worries at all. All right, I'll see you later.
We're hanging on to the bitter end, so we're going to listen to the replay for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Kimberly.
All right, you're welcome. I'll see you later.
Ladies.
I would have been like, oh, where'd they go? No. But anyhow, so I had a $5,000 month, and before I even had that $5,000 month, though, I went on faith, and I went ahead and told my boss, I was like, hey, you know, I'm giving you a 30-day notice. August 30th, that's going to be my last day. I'm going to be gone. And I don't know if it's like if it's just, you know, Paul calls it putting your back against the wall, but like something flipped on inside me, and I'm like, wow, like I really have to do this. I really have to make this happen. So no more excuses at all. Like my job, I'm not going to be at my job anymore after August 30th. I have to make it happen. So, you know, so I did that. You know, August 30th was my last day at my job, and I contributed all to just really making those definite decisions. Really just deciding this is what I want to do, number one. Deciding that I needed to model the leaders, number two, and get to the events, get all in, and position myself in the same position, because the whole goal is to level the playing field. Like you want there to be nothing different really besides you and the leaders, or you and the person that has what you want. So I'm like, all right, I'm going all the events just like you guys. I'm all in just like you guys. Like, what else do I need to do to really like just completely copy what you're doing so I can get the same result? So, you know, months went by, and you know, I had a bunch of successes. I brought 10 teammates to Anaheim, which I've never brought anyone to any event before, and so fast forward to like the beginning of this year, you know, we made the decision to partner up and work together because we thought, you know, two people going the same direction would be super ultra powerful. So we made that decision. That was in right after Miami. We saw Justin and Dee get their rings. We saw Tracy Walker run out there on the stage, and like it was so emotional seeing her run out just in the nick of time, because she had been professing that into her life, speaking that into existence, that she was going to get that ring by Miami, and she did. And that just shows you like how powerful that is, to have that faith and to speak things out into your business, over your life. And so we saw that happen. And then the next really big turning point for myself, and then for Paul as well, was when Dave rolled out the affiliate. There's like the first affiliate like contest type thing with the Viral Blogging Academy, and how you get all those points for getting event tickets and all that kind of stuff. So we right away were like, all right, let's do this. Let's get in the top 10. Like, let's do whatever we have to do to get into the top 10. So, you know, we start doing whatever it takes to get new member basic sales. Like, we're on Facebook, we're doing chat, we're putting our phone number in our email. We're like, all right, we haven't picked up the phone in the past, you know, however long, because that's like, oh, don't talk to people, don't talk to leads, don't talk to this and that. But we're like, let's just. Sometimes if you're getting that, you want that breakthrough in your business, you have to do what everyone else is willing not to do in order to get the results. So we're like, all right, let's get on the phone if we have to do. We did everything short of going and walking around Walmart, to get new members in. So we really did whatever it took, and we were working maybe like 12-hour days, some like 18-hour days. We were doing whatever it took, but we understood that it wasn't going to be forever. We understood we're working in this little cycle. We didn't really know how long it was going to take, but we knew that we just wanted to place in that contest, and if we did that, that would take our business to the next level. So what happened by us doing that? Huge breakthrough in our business. We brought in a ton of people. We placed on the leaderboard, which got us noticed by the company and Dave and stuff like that. And Paul got onto the inner circle call, and it was like a big old snowball of all of these effects happening. Since then we've both been on stage in Seattle and in Charlotte. And but what made that difference? What really made the difference was just getting that traction of doing whatever it takes. And I said earlier, whatever it takes for me might be different for you, but everyone knows, I think, within them whatever it takes. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices. I haven't paid a cable bill in over 3 years. I know that because I know that if I don't even have time for that. I know that it doesn't matter. I don't have time to watch movies and shows and stuff like that. And even now, I find I've got myself in such a mode of not doing that kind of stuff. It's hard for me to go and sit through a movie without thinking about the business. It might be kind of bad, I gotta kind of wean myself off of that a little bit just to have myself time sometimes. But think about what you can sacrifice. Think about what are things that you can take time away from for now, just temporarily, and put some more time into the business. One of the decisions that I made last summer when I was working real hard was I was like, dang, the only thing that I can really sacrifice right now is sleep. So I started Googling sleep hacking. I'm like, all right, how do you function on only 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night? How do you function on only 5 hours of sleep a night? Oh, you have to go after your nutrition. You have to make sure you're getting a lot of water. But I was like, if I sleep 1 hour less, if I go to bed an hour later, if I wake up an hour earlier, that's 2 hours per day. That's 14 hours a week. That's however many hours. That gives you a whole extra work week per month. And it's crazy at the end of the year. It gives you something like 2 to 4 extra weeks in your life if you actually do that. But so you just have to figure it out what it is for you. And what made the biggest I guess change or breakthrough for me personally was really just realizing why people always say to work on your mind more than the business. At first I thought it was kind of cliche and kind of silly, and I'm like, oh, no, that can't be it. And the longest time, sometimes it just goes against your natural thinking, how could that be it? But the reason why that is because you have to develop yourself into the person that it takes to go out and do something crazy, like make $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 in a month. You can't do it from who you are now. You got to grow and develop yourself and learn new things and increase your awareness. And so I could say now, my routine now, yes, I'm free from a job, but I do personal development comes first. Hours a day of audio. I'm always having something on, always reading something, always learning something new concepts about people. If you want to write something down, study people, study yourself, and then study how to communicate. And if you can get those 3 things down, it'll make the biggest difference in your business, because you'll learn what is our real end goal here in Empower Network is to help people change their lives. Yes, they're going to make money online, they're going to earn extra income or replace their income or whatever have you. That's the money part of it, but the underlying thing is you're going to help someone change their life. And when you can shift yourself from just being a person who's out there marketing, saying, oh, extra money, make money from home and all that kind of stuff, to really communicating with people one-on-one and helping them understand that there is a better way. They can change their lives, and they can change themselves, and they can change their situation, and all of that. Then all the rest of the stuff becomes easy and simple. I quite honestly couldn't sit here and tell you everything, all the technical stuff, and what have we done to get traffic and leads and all this kind of stuff. I probably couldn't even tell you, because I don't even really know, other than we just took massive action with the strategies that we had, and we did it to the best of our ability, and did it until this is how I explain the business sometimes. And we have a teammate staying with us, Tino. He's in our team, and I told him, I was like, Tino, this business is kind of like if you picture a little snowball in your hand. At first it's just a little snowball, you just made it with your hands. If you set it on the floor and imagine yourself rolling it up a hill, there's a time period where you're just rolling that thing up the hill and it starts to get heavy and it's hard and you're pushing it up the hill and you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to make it to the top. But eventually you make it to the top, and when you push it down the hill, it just goes and it goes and gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how this business is. For a time, you're going to be pushing it up the hill. You're going to be going up the hill for a while, but know that the snowball's getting bigger and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you know that eventually there's going to be a point. Like right now, if we just completely stopped Empower Network right now and decided to go do something else or whatever, I don't know what it would be, but we probably couldn't stop commissions from coming in now because we put in that work before. So if I can just leave you with a couple of things, just work on your mind. Some of the people that I study close by every single day is Bob Proctor. You know, we went to the Science of Getting Rich seminar earlier this year, and all of his work, just consume all of his work like your life depended on it, Bob Proctor. And, you know, I do study. I'm a student of the law of attraction and personal alchemy and just, you know, all that weird, crazy stuff that Justin talks about all the time. Like, I really got into all that. And I got into, like, how you really can speak your world into existence. You really can create your own reality. You really can, by the things that you think, create your external circumstances over time and with consistency. It's real. And for a long time, I was kind of a skeptic on all that, but I kind of like had no other choice but to believe that it worked, and then to try it out, and then to see that it did work. So, you know, just work on your mind harder than you work on anything else. And but first, build your foundation. You know, level the playing field. Make sure you're coming to the events. Make sure you are all in. Make sure you're doing whatever it takes to do all the foundational stuff first, because that's the most important. And then, you know, doing whatever it takes just to, I mean, simplify it. 2 sales a day, right? 2 sales a day, 30 leads a day. It sounds really simple, and a lot of people just overcomplicate it, is all that it really is. You know I did at first, and that's what a lot of new people do. They just overcomplicate it. But if you could really just find your purpose in this business and find your purpose for going out and building, like my purpose isn't, you know, here to just help people make money online. Like, I really want to help people do whatever they love in their life, because that's what my goal is. I want to be able to do the things that I love in my life. So, and people can just tell when you're coming from that direction than when you're coming from, oh, I need to make money, or I'm trying to help people just make money. Like, no, I'm really on a mission to just help people transform their lives like I've been able to. Like, I used to be a shy, introverted person, couldn't talk to anyone, was completely broken down, no confidence, could not speak to anyone, could not sell anything, I was a completely different person a few years back. And you know, my mission now is to help people do that same thing, you know, transform themselves into the person that they need to be in order to reach success, and use Empower as the vehicle to get there, wherever they want to, you know, wherever it is that they want to go. So.
Yes, very powerful. I really appreciate you sharing all those insights. So a couple of things that took away from Kimberly was our stories are very similar, and I like how you described the personal development, because people go, personal development, what's that? And why are we increasing our mindset? And knowing that that's what is the key to understanding people, how you communicate, because people are in all sorts of ways on how they are, and you know, their personality and how they can bring it out to understand people, how they communicate to people, how you're going to help that in your business, being network marketing, a people person business, or even, you know, even if they have a brick and mortar business or something, some products that's tangible. Every product is really tangible, but how you get the right buyer for that product. You really target the problems that people have and stuff. You have to understand the people and the personal development side in order to make it happen. So a lot of takeaways from I had as well. How about you, Keisha?
Definitely. What you just shared, I think on the our boot camp that we had, I share with people that you want to connect to yourself, or connect with yourself first, and then you'll be able to, and then that's also studying or the personalities and learning people, and then you'll be able to communicate to them. And so I really connected with you when you said that, just so much of what you said, but we truly believe that personal development is key, and I have been recently doing so much more of that, because I realized that that is what is going to really take my businesses to the next level. So we really appreciate you for coming out here and sharing so much of yourself and pouring into everyone that is viewing this today, or the recording. So I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's more and more practice, you know, to just, even now, I don't feel 100% comfortable, you know, getting on stage or getting on a Hangout or stuff like that. So just any chance just to be able to talk, I appreciate. And then also, you know, just share my story, because I know a lot of people, you know, probably are going through similar things. And so for them to see that, you know, I'm human, and you know, if I cut myself right now, I'd probably bleed and all that kind of stuff. Like, trust me, there's nothing special or anything that I've done to get success other than just, you know, model the other people who have laid the foundation before me. So
that's what's so key too, because so many people need to learn what other people's stories are so they can relate to something happening to them in order to find that whatever it takes attitude, or find that certain book that just gets a lot of aha moments to get their mind clicking, going, I can reach out and do whatever it takes. I can do that too. Nothing stops them.
The events, like, not only just the event part of it, but I would say some of the biggest breakthroughs that I've had at events were like on the breaks, going out to lunch with certain people, being able to stay and spend one-on-one time. Sometimes it's just been a quick conversation in a hallway, or overhearing someone say something. You never know where you're just going to get that little piece of information, and a lot of times it's all that it is. It's like you're there for 3 days, but it was just that one moment that really just flipped you upside down and made you a completely different person. Then you go back home and you just you look at everything different. Your life, your relationships, your business, everything's different because you heard that one thing at the event. So that's why the events are so important.
Yeah, I've gotten that too from me making a video of someone going, I need to go back and review that. That was my takeaway from that event. I was like, where did you find that video? I need to go back and find that again. And you remember that. People will remember you, and just in the passing that you're there and what your vision is trying to do to success dreams in my voice. So is there anything else, Keisha, we want to keep it to end it here?
Actually, I did, I really did appreciate you sharing your story in Charlotte. I know when I heard it, I'm like, wow, okay, I know it just really helped me to visualize. Like you said, when I went to Austin, I saw it, but when you can really identify, Alicia, you said, when people share their stories and you can really identify and relate, that really, really helped me. I just would like, you mentioned Bob Proctor and a lot of books. Could you just give one that really, really impacted you? Just maybe one book that you could share with the viewers that they could start off reading, or if they haven't, I'm sure they're already reading and, you know, listening to audio, but if you can give one.
Just one? Oh, that's hard.
Well, your top three. You can give your
okay, I'll do a top three. Let me sit here like, which one? No, so three, yeah. Well, first and foremost, the material that's really helped me understand what it takes to succeed in anything has been the Born Rich program from Bob Proctor, and it's on YouTube. There's 3 videos, and they're like 3 hours apiece. So if you have all day, you know, sit there and watch all of them, but commit yourself to just go through that program, you know, an hour a day or however long it takes you to get through those. They really talk about the science, and that's what helps me in my particular, you know, I don't know if I...
Like your personality, what you niche with.
Not what is the word? I can't think of it right now. But the left brain side of like, well, I really need to see like on paper like how this is going to work or something like that.
Analytical, yeah, analytical.
There we go, analytical. For the analytical people, that's really good because they actually talk about like how the mind works, how the subconscious mind works, and how people get into having good results or bad results. And that just clicked on something for me. And I was like, oh, now I know how my mind works. Now I can work on really reprogramming myself. So that was good. And then as far as books go, like if you're familiar with The Secret, like the movie The Secret, the book The Secret, and stuff like that, and like general law of attraction principles, the book that really threw me over the edge as far as law of attraction goes is The Greatest Manifestation Principle in the World by Carnelian Sage. It's actually a short read. The book's about this big. I read it in a couple of hours the day that I got it. So excited to get it. And as you start reading it, you're like, oh, you can't finish, like, you can't stop reading. You just go through until you're done. But that is basically like the missing link in law of attraction. A lot of people they think about what they want all the time, and they really feel like they're focused on it, but there's just something missing. And in that book, it kind of points out the things that you're missing and how to actually apply that to what you're already doing along with your action. And then I would say also, if you're somebody like me, like I've become obsessed with learning like how can I be a co-creator of my existence? How can I co-create everything, all the results in my life? How can I be the person who you know, speaks my world into existence and thinks my world into existence. And the book that just blows me away, I read it every day, and I'm on my second time of reading it, and I read a part of it every day. It's Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes. Any book that he's written, I highly recommend. I've only read about 3 of his books total. But Creative Mind and Success, you can get on Kindle. You might even be able to find a PDF online somewhere. I don't know, but I got the Kindle version. But when you mix The Born Rich and you mix just general law of attraction principles along with the stuff that he talks about, I can't even go into without confusing everyone probably like the stuff that he talks about, but it really just breaks it down to where like, wow, like that's really how the world works. That's how you work. That's how the law works and how spirit works and everything. But he talks about just that kind of stuff, like how to see your world into existence and alchemy, personal alchemy and all that kind of stuff. All of his work has to do with that. So anything he's written, but Creative Mind and Success would be the third thing that I would recommend getting right away.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate all those nuggets.
Everyone out, I don't know who's viewing still or who was viewing or who will view in the future, but commit to meet us in Orlando. Just decide, like I said earlier, it's free to decide. Decide now that you're going to go. You'll find the money. You'll find the way to get there. You'll find a babysitter and all that stuff. But make the decision to go. Meet us there, and then come up to me and say, hey, I saw you on that Hangout, and I made the decision that day, and look, I'm here now, and who knows, you might even, if you can make that decision, you might make other decisions up to the event. You might even see each other on stage, when they're doing the commission countdown or something like that. So.
Yeah, those are powerful.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because now that they've lowered the standard, like you have to make so much to get on the stage. So you're always increasing your standard too. And I think that's powerful in the mindset. You got to keep increasing your own standard.
You on the stage, it's gonna break every time. They're like, no more people. No more people on the stage. It breaks down.
I get nervous.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. And this is being recorded, right?
Yes. Well, I sent you the link of the recording on the page. You can share it.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks so much. Bye, guys.